Hey everyone, welcome back to XVolt Tech. Now, some of you watching may have some old home videos lying around, whether that be on VHS, 8mm/Hi8/Digital 8, or MiniDV. But today, I'm going to teach you in this guide how to convert those into digital files on your computer. For the unfamiliar, analog refers to VHS, VHS-C, Hi8, 8mm, and other similar formats. The first thing you'll need is obviously a laptop or a desktop. The only thing you really have to buy, one of two things depending on if you already have the second thing, but the first thing I recommend that you should buy is something like this, a capture card. This is specifically an RCA or an S-video to USB capture card. I don't recommend any specific one because most of them on Amazon can be sort of hit or miss quality, but I don't have a specific one. If I do find a good one, I will leave a link in the description for that. But so far, this is one of the only things I recommend if you don't have the second, if you already have the second thing. And that second thing is an RCA to 3.5mm jack. Most analog camcorders have a 3.5mm AV out on them. And with that, you're going to have to plug something into the RCA jack. So that usually comes with these old camcorders, but most of the time if you're just buying one off of eBay, then you won't have that cable.
Now that you have everything you need to plug the USB into your computer and boot up OBS. QuickTime can work too if you're on a Mac, but I strongly recommend using OBS. There are specific settings to choose for your tapes to look ideal, so if you already have settings on OBS you don't want to change, create a new profile. The final setup step is to add your capture device into OBS, which you can do in this box here. The name of your device will depend on what you buy, but mine is called this. There will be times that your capture device will not be detected, so you may need to unplug and plug in a couple of times. Once that's all set up, you plug the AV jack into your AV port on the camcorder. I'm using a MiniDV camcorder for this example because I no longer possess an analog camcorder, but most MiniDV camcorders do support analog output. If all goes well, you should see a blue screen appear in the preview window and you can now pop in your tape, hit record on OBS, and hit play on the camcorder.
Now, if you have a Digital 8 or MiniDV camcorder, this is going to be the most ideal for you because converting from digital to digital will give you a one-to-one copy of your physical tape. Now, the best solution that I found for converting these is to have a Windows-based PC, not really a laptop, and to get one of these. This is a FireWire PCIe card, and you just simply slot it into your computer, and it should just natively work. I got this one for about $20 on Amazon. It's a really good price. I haven't put it in my computer yet, but that's what I'm going to be doing in this video, hopefully. Alternatively, the next best solution is salvaging an old MacBook Pro. This one is specifically the non-Retina 2012 MacBook Pro, which was actually the last MacBook ever released with a FireWire 800 port. This is the one I recommend most, but of course any Mac with a FireWire 400 or 800 can work. When it comes to a Mac, the method I recommend is using Boot Camp and installing Windows 7 or 8.1. Windows is by far the best operating system I've used for MiniDV capture, and while it is possible on macOS with QuickTime Player, I have had a lot of issues with it. So if you have a newer Mac, make sure to get a FireWire to Thunderbolt connector, which can be USB-C or Thunderbolt 2. That could work, but I recommend using OBS for that as well, because the program that I'm going to be using in this example won't work on Mac. For those Boot Camp drivers that I mentioned, I will be leaving a link into the description for those, but those are specifically the ones for the 2009 to 2012 model Macs with FireWire, so if you don't have one of those, you may have to look for them on your own.
Now, once you have your old Mac set up as previously said, or you've installed your PCIe FireWire card and installed the driver for it, you're already ready to record.
My motherboard doesn't have a PCIe slot. Boy, do I feel stupid.
However, you must download this neat program named WinDV. I've been using it for a while, and it is the best software I found for MiniDV conversion, and I believe it can work with Digital 8, but I'm not 100% sure. If you're stuck on macOS, QuickTime can work, but I've often had issue with QuickTime, and if you're on Linux, I recommend installing dvgrab. WinDV is very simple to set up. Once you've turned on your camcorder and have plugged in the FireWire cable into both ends, you go into WinDV and select your camcorder here. Once you've selected it, you select the file name and location. WinDV will record each scene as separate .avi files and give it your chosen file name and append the start date and time of the specific scene. Once this is all set up, you hit the capture button, then hit play on your camcorder. Once the tape is over or you'd like to stop recording, hit either of these buttons and the capture will stop and you will be left with the files. From here, it's up to you to either leave it as individual scene videos or to put them all in an editing software to have it all in one, just as it was shot on the tape.
Now, this is a big asterisk for doing this thing. If you're doing this with a camcorder, you may experience some issues with doing it because many of these camcorders are easily over 20 years old, with some of the oldest MiniDV camcorders being from the late 90s and are now 25 plus years old. So if your camera has issues and you really want to invest in it, I recommend sending it for repair, which is what I did with this camera, and it basically works like brand new like it did in 2005. I sent it into the Camcorder Repair Center located in Glendale, California. I just got this back today. There was a little bit of delay in mail, but I got this fixed for about $250, which is an insane price to pay for an old camera. I know, but given this was $600 brand new in 2005, and you can pay a very cheap price for a camera that's not guaranteed to work very well, I think it's a good investment, especially since I plan to use it for other things. However, if you don't want to invest in a camera or a tape deck, then I recommend sending the tapes in to a very specific service. Most of these tape conversion services aren't very good. Some of them are very low quality, but the one that I've seen from online reviews and from YouTube from the people themselves is gotmemories.com, which is located in Arizona. As far as I've seen, that guy is the best that you can have for tape conversion, whether that be MiniDV, High 8, VHS. He's got all of that covered, and he's a great guy as far as I've seen. Plus, if you work with MiniDV or other formats, he has a lot of videos explaining these common issues and how to fix them, and I've personally used a lot of these videos to help me on my journey with tape, so I greatly thank him a lot for those videos. And with that, that is how you convert your old videotapes. I wish you all luck in your conversions, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.